Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today we're taking a look at SooSooToys Hero Lawyer 2.0, aka Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock / Daredevil, specifically based off his appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home, but also kinda by extension the Netflix series. Now I got mine directly from SooSooToys. This is a review sample, but this video, it ain't a promotional video, no. This is a review on a figure that's going in my collection after this video is done. If you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, look at this dapper gentleman on the front. It's of course Charlie Cox from the series. It's not a picture of the actual figure. Plus, it's been a little bit stylized, kind of like an oil painting. Up top, SooSooToys, and down below, Hero Lawyer 2.0. Was there any real need for a 2.0? Was the original that bad? No, I don't think so. I really like the original, but I'm super curious to see this new one. On the side of the box, nothing super special, just the rest of that image from the front of the box. On the back, Hero Lawyer 2.0, warnings and legal info, plus a SooSooToys logo. And in the background, a New York City street scene, just like the artwork on the front of the box. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's the same piece of artwork, just without Charlie Cox. Speak of the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Up the top, SooSooToys, another image of Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock just strolling down the street. Now I'm pretty sure everyone will agree that this is perfect casting. Charlie Cox as Daredevil, the blind, badass superhero, yeah, it was a match made in heaven. He plays this role to perfection. So now that we have two different versions of him in 1/6 scale, which one is better? Don't worry, we will do comparisons, and I'm pretty curious to find out myself. Now the reason I said in the intro that this one is based off No Way Home is because it is. For some reason, Marvel forgot, or Charlie Cox did, but in No Way Home, his hair was parted the other way to what it normally is, and that's the same exact thing that can be said for this figure. First in-hand impressions, this is some really fine tailoring. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first. It's done in the typical SooSooToys style. Hexagonal, nice and chonky, so it gives him an added boost of height in the display. And up top, some metal grate flooring, painted in red with some airbrush shading around the edges. In the center, a Daredevil logo. It is painted in silver and there is some blood splatter, but I do kinda wish that was the show logo. Up top, an adjustable crotch grabber. But that also doesn't ruin the display base for me. I still think it's more than serviceable. Now you do get two pairs of glasses, one with black lenses made of metal with translucent plastic for the lenses, and then a set of red ones. These are my favorite. Now the metal for the frames, super shiny and chrome. Plus, this time, there are these rubber pieces on the end so you don't scratch the head sculpt. As compared to last time, they were really narrow and super thin and flimsy feeling. These are a little bit chonkier and they feel very, very sturdy. Of course, you will see both of these on the figure later on. Next up, a non-wearable Daredevil helmet. No, you can't put this on the head sculpt. Please don't try, because you're going to damage something. The paint applications, pretty simple, painted in this dark red with black in the crevices. And yes, the eyes are translucent red plastic, so they pop very, very well. In the display, you can have him holding this, or you can pop this on the display base as some set dressing. By far the biggest accessory upgrade though is this cane. This time it's real metal. We have multiple white sections, black for the handle and the linkages, and also some red, because, you know, it's Daredevil. Then up top, some stretchy elastic. But by far the best part, if you let it go, it assembles itself and it springs into action thanks to this elastic up top. I can do this over and over again all day long. It's just SooSooToys flexing at this point, and I bet they know it too. I would almost go so far as to say the cane is worth the price of admission, but I think there's something else that takes that spot. So the cane comes in second place. Now we do get a full array of hands, including these meant to hold the cane, as he should, kind of pointed forward. There's some wrinkling and skin texture and some vein work, and the same thing goes for all the hands. What we are going to do now, though, is get Matt Murdock himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses, or accessories, or anything like that. Bloody hell, this guy looks good, and I was worried he wasn't going to. I thought to myself, okay Justin, set your expectations pretty low. Because most of the time, companies, like even Hot Toys, when they announce a 2.0, there is a ton of reuse. Same body, sometimes same stand, same shoes, same outfit, just a new head sculpt, maybe some new accessories. But nuh-uh, not with this guy, not with SooSoo. You see, they threw everything out the window from the 1.0. The only reuse, as far as I can tell, is the display base, and this guy is all the better for it. Just check the proportions. He literally looks like a real dude shrunk down to 1/6 scale, and I know I say that a lot, but I genuinely do mean it here. Then the suit on top of that body, a massive improvement compared to the original. Suiting in 1/6 scale has come a very long way. And my proof? The figure standing in front of you. Then not to mention the head sculpt. I cannot get over how good it looks, even from a distance. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Matt's head sculpt and the red lensed glasses, but don't forget, we do have to try the black lens glasses and the no glasses option, because they're removable. But before we get there, let's talk about the sculpt itself. I love this head sculpt. Now, I'm one of the people that adored the 1.0. I thought that was the peak Charlie Cox head sculpt in 1/6 scale. Maybe even better than the upcoming Hot Toys one, but this head sculpt, now that I've seen it in person, it's better than the 1.0. Now, I didn't think this figure was necessary. I thought, nah, if you have the 1.0, just keep that one. But not only is the likeness better here, but from a technical perspective, it's just an overall massive improvement. The skin texture, the paint applications for the 5 o'clock shadow, and the way it's sculpted. I mean, even down here for the neck beard, we have some wrinkles for his crow's feet and on his forehead. Plus the hair is MCU accurate. It's parted to the correct way as seen in No Way Home. Whereas with the 1.0, you had all that battle damage, the skin tone was quite a lot softer, and his hair was going the other way, which I guess is still accurate, but not to the MCU. This is much more of an up-to-date version. Also, with the glasses on, you can see his eyes poking through. Now, the lenses, they are a little bit thick, but still, I mean, you can tell exactly who that's supposed to be, and this head sculpt is super realistic. Yes, I know it's descending into a gush fest, but I can't help myself. When a head sculpt is this good, and it's doing all the heavy lifting, because otherwise it's just a dude in a business suit, I have to tell you how I see it, and I really want to share my excitement. Hopefully I'm conveying that through the camera, but I'm enamored by this head sculpt. There's not even a crazy ugly seam line to complain about. Everything is very neat and tidy. Now, if you do want to remove the glasses, you can, but bear in mind, they are metal. Now, there are some little rubber protectors on the arms so it doesn't scratch up the head sculpt, but still, you don't want to run any risk of damage, so please, take your time when removing the glasses and putting them on as well. Now that we've taken them off, the likeness is still there. It still looks like Charlie Cox to me. And they captured that dead-eyed stare, because, don't forget, Daredevil is blind, so his eyes, they would be permanently wide open and locked in position. So I guess, for this figure, yeah, you can display it either way, glasses on or glasses off. The likeness is still very strong. Okay, now I am starting to repeat myself, so swiftly moving on to the body choice and the tailoring. Now the body, I can't fault it. It's nice and broad at the shoulders, the neck length looks accurate even though he's wearing a collar which sometimes throws it off. His biceps fill out the suit sleeves and his chest is nice and full. But they didn't overdo it, and that's the key. When a character is wearing a suit like this, if the body is too big, it throws off the entire thing. It looks really goofy, but this doesn't. I'm more than happy with the body choice, like I already said. Then his shirt is a white business shirt with some faux buttons and Velcro to close it up, but the collar is really flat, and that's something I didn't notice that I hated on the original. That collar, super hard to work with, but this one, so much nicer. Now, unfortunately, his tie does tend to droop down, but a little bit of a hack that I found: if you lock the collar in position with your nail, then you push the tie up, the tie knot should sit in position, but if you still need a little bit more help, it's a real knot, so it's tightenable. If that's actually a word, you can tighten up the tie and lock it in position even more securely. Then for his suit jacket, it's fully lined and very, very thin. That's also super critical for 1/6 scale, because if the jackets are big, once again, he'll look stupid, but this tailoring is tight as a pin. It's shaped to his body, and also the sleeves end at the correct length. Plus, you do have a little bit of cuff poking out from underneath the suit jacket from the shirt itself. Now, the last thing to mention, that's a real button. So if you wanted to, and you're a glutton for punishment, you can do up that button, but it's going to be a real chore to get that done. So for me, I'm going unbuttoned in my display. Coming down to his pants, oh, SooSoo, look at that tailoring, on point once again. I mean, they break at the perfect height on the shoes. Now, I don't mean to keep putting down the 1.0, I really don't. I still adore that figure, but his pants were far too long, and yes, you will see what I mean when we do a comparison. Now, we do have some proper working pockets, a pleather belt with a metal belt buckle. The pants themselves, super tight and form-fitting to his legs, but they're also baggy enough that they should be good for posing. Then we have a crease ironed in down the front, and I love this texture of the fabric, plus it matches the jacket, which I hadn't actually mentioned yet, but they genuinely do look like proper suit pants shrunk down to 1/6 scale. Underneath the pants, some white socks, and some fully sculpted shoes. But clearly Matt didn't get the memo from Colin Firth in Kingsman. Oxfords, not brogues. There is some intricate sculpt work, some leather grain texture, bar laced, cause you know he passed the bar, so sorry, and underneath, some fully sculpted tread. For a quick side-by-side comparison, wait, what? I don't remember the original looking as bad as it does here standing next to the new one, which is of course on the left, the original being on the right. But it does. It's shorter, the proportions are kind of thrown off by how baggy the suit is, and the suit is baggy. I mean, look at his ankles. There's way too much excess fabric. Plus, something about the head sculpt is not quite right. But we will do a much closer up comparison in just a second. Oh, hey Red, Hot Toys Daredevil on the right, and as you can see, he's shorter than himself. Why is that the case? Not quite sure, but maybe, just maybe, SooSooToys had to go with a taller body for Matt Murdock to get the proportions right, and if that's the case, I'm all for that. Go for the taller body, make sure your figure looks as good as it possibly can. Don't worry about scaling. But then again, a lot of people do worry about scaling, so this is going to have to be up to you. If you care that Hot Toys Daredevil is a touch shorter, maybe you can extend the ankles. Or you can switch the body on Matt Murdock and make him shorter. He is also a little bit taller than the SooSooToys Daredevil, the black-suited version, who, by the way, is an incredible figure in his own right, but we're not here to discuss him. The new one, yes, it's a civilian version, so it should be the same height as the various Daredevil options, but so far, they've all been different heights anyway. This black-suited one is taller than the red-suited one, who's also taller than the SooSooToys 1.0 hero lawyer, so yeah, there's a mix of different scales out there, but pose depending, I'm pretty sure you can make it work. Okay, I don't know what I have to do to get someone to make me a 1/6 scale brick for him to catch, but I need to make that happen, because this is his look from Spider-Man No Way Home, and catching that brick, such a badass moment. Here we have the battling version of Spidey though, also from No Way Home, who is significantly shorter than Matt Murdock, but that works, because Spidey, he's a young lad, whereas Matt Murdock is a full-grown adult. This is pretty cool. Hot Toys Punisher, SooSooToys Matt Murdock. Frank is a little bit shorter than Matt. I'm not sure how many people are actually going to display a fully suited and booted Frank Castle alongside a civilian Matt Murdock. If you wanted to though, you can. If any figure needed a 2.0 real bad, it's Elektra. I mean, this one is okay. I really like the head sculpt, and I like the outfit, but proportions are off, and she's really, really short, so fingers crossed someday SooSooToys can give us a 2.0 with a fully seamless body. Not everyone's favorite character, I perfectly understand that, and I know exactly why. The show, super divisive, but Iron Fist, he was in Defenders, and also Matt wore a suit like this in that show, so if you are putting together your Defenders team, well, Iron Fist is kind of essential. This is the SooSooToys one, wearing the mask from the new and improved version. Please don't be shitty with me in the comments for not using the SooSooToys Kingpin, I really wanted to. However, today I'm shooting on a white background. And he sports a very stylish white suit, so you would have seen nothing. Just a floating head, maybe a pair of hands, and a cane. That's why I went with my custom one, who is wearing a SooSooToys head sculpt, but the SooSooToys Kingpin body is significantly taller than my custom one, so he would tower over Matt Murdock. For a super zoomed in comparison, I didn't think there were going to be this many differences, but SooSooToys have come a long way in a very short amount of time. I mean, no, I didn't pose this one to make it look worse than the new one. It just genuinely is an inferior product. The suit jacket, big and baggy. The tie, nowhere near as good. The shirt doesn't fit as well. And the same thing can be said for the pants. Plus, the head sculpts, it's night and day. The new one, I think, is vastly superior. Something about the skinniness of the original just kind of throws off the entire thing. But I'm going to turn it over to you. Which one do you prefer? The new one on the left or the original on the right? If you were wondering, like me, what the new head sculpt looks like with the old glasses on, no, I don't think this is a good display option. They're far too narrow. He looks like a mad scientist. So I'm going to stick with the glasses that are actually made for this sculpt. This looks so much better than I was expecting. The Hot Toys Daredevil body and the Hero Lawyer 2.0 head sculpt. Now, in the show, yes, he does wear a balaclava, and it kind of sits around the base of his neck. So his neck does look a touch long, but still, it's properly seated on the neck connector this time. Unlike last time, where it's a little bit loosey-goosey. This is a super secure connection. Could I potentially see myself displaying him as an unhelmeted Daredevil? 100%. And the best news is, you can do this now. You don't have to wait for the Hot Toys yellow and red suited Daredevil. Pick up the Hero Lawyer, take the head sculpt off, pop it on this body. Going over articulation, if you do find when you're posing him, when you're messing around with the joints, the suit gets out of alignment, don't worry, it's not a big deal. Dial in your pose first, adjust the tie, adjust the suit later. Because it's fabric, it can easily be done. Now, starting off with the head sculpt, it's on a fixed neck with a ball joint at the bottom. Looking forward to there, looking up to there, swivel and pivot side to side. The arms will go up to there, limited slightly by the padding in the suit jacket. Going forward and back on soft ratchets, butterfly joint at the shoulder that hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow going the full way, then a hinge and swivel for the wrist peg. The torso will crunch forward and back, unhindered by padding, because there is none. Swivel and pivot. The legs will go forward to there, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee on soft ratchets, and lastly, a double ball peg for the ankle. Good for forward and back, swivel, and ankle rocker. Wrapping up on SooSooToys Hero Lawyer 2.0. aka Charlie Cox, aka Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, based off his appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home, but also kinda sorta in the Netflix series and Defenders, and also in She-Hulk, cause this guy's look, it doesn't change super often. But SooSooToys? They made a bunch of changes here, starting with the most important one, the body. They nailed those proportions. Now, as good as the head sculpt is, which it is, and as awesome as the accessories are, which they are, my biggest takeaway, the tailoring and the proportions on the body. This guy, he screams realism. So if you've been sitting there on the sidelines thinking, ooh, okay, maybe I want a Charlie Cox Matt Murdock figure, now's your time, friend. This is the one to get, at least in my opinion. The 1.0, still a great offering. If you have that one, if you're happy with that one, great, stick with him. The battle damage head sculpt that comes with the original, a bit of variety is never a bad thing, and that's exactly what that one brings. But what this one brings, the ultimate Charlie Cox likeness in 1/6 scale for now. We will have to wait and see when the Hot Toys head sculpt comes out, and of course we will do comparisons. Like I said in the intro, this was a review sample sent to me by SooSooToys. That, however, has no bearing on my opinions whatsoever. I've told you exactly as I see it, as I would with any other figure. If you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe? bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.